welcome to the Astro Forecast for the week of August 21st through to the 27th. This is a week where the energy is really going to shift. We have two planets changing signs and one changing direction relative to the Earth. So, and they're all personal planets. So we're really going to feel this as a collective. And it's not a bad thing. And I want you to remember that as you listen to this. I really want these forecasts to be inspiring and to enlighten you as to what this energy is bringing onto this planet. And I hope it never makes you feel sad or scared, because this is just energy. You have a choice. You have free will to do whatever you wish that feels most aligned to you in your life. And you have opportunities to use these energies for their highest and best. Or if you're feeling triggered in the cycles that these energies are meant to grow you and heal you and help you to evolve, then take that information and use it again for your highest and best. So no such thing as a bad transit, y'all. There's no such thing as a bad chart. There's no such thing as bad astrology aspects. There are ones that are more challenging, yes, and ones that are supposed to be more light, but challenging ones can be light and light can be challenging. It depends on your perspective, right? So as we start off this week, we start off with a first quarter phase of the moon in Libra, meaning the moon is gaining light. And in Libra, this is a moon where we're feeling very amicable. We're trying to find a common ground. We're very moderate, mediate. We want to mediator-ish, we want to find a way that everyone can just coexist and be happy and enjoy the pleasures of life. But there are things happening. So on Monday, August 21st, we have a sun in conjunct to Pluto. So the sun is our vitality, how we feel about ourselves, our identity. And in Leo, this is us wanting to shine like the sun and live from our heart. Leo rules the heart. Now, in conjunct is a 150-degree angle, meaning there's a need for adjustment here. And Pluto is about trauma, death, rebirth, and transformation. It's a deep planet. And these two planets coming together in this way, there's a need for adjustment here. So this can look like feeling frustrated that we're not being able to move forward. This can be a buildup of pressure. Pluto relates to control and manipulation. So we can feel like we're trying to control things. If you're trying to control life and things aren't happening for you, or someone's trying to control you, you can feel like you just want to fight. This kind of fighty energy. So the opportunity for this energy is to really dig deep into your triggers. If you're feeling triggered today, if somebody comes up to you and calls you a jerk and you're like, oh, you don't want to react, you want to respond. And as I talked about that last week about responding versus reacting, right? Stop, observe how you feel, observe what's happening around you, discern the next right course of action that feels aligned to who you are, your values, Venus, and where you want to go next, and then act from that place. And notice if you're being triggered because someone called you a jerk, right? That's actually a big trigger for someone in my life, because that name, that word, represents something that their dad used to say to bad people when they were growing up. And he didn't even realize that that was actually a trigger until I started to probe and go, well, where did you hear that name? And what did it mean to you? And who have you heard around you that you love and value use that word to derogatory people or to sort of, talk down people? And now when someone says it to you, it's a big trigger, because it's like somebody that your dad doesn't like, and you love your dad and you want your dad to love you. Deep. Pluto is deep. So this day, when you're feeling triggered, if you're feeling triggered, notice that. And if you're feeling like you need to control and you need to kind of grasp onto something, notice, where is that coming from with you? Why are you feeling insecure? Because the opportunity here is to let go. The opportunity here is to have faith. And the opportunity here is to compromise as well. So it's not a power struggle. It's only a power struggle if you're continuing to tug the rope, right? In tug of war, if you just let the rope go, there's no more pulling and pushing. There's just you being, right? It's just this non-attachment that can come in. So practice non-attachment on Monday and noticing where in you you're attaching to something. There's a Buddhist saying this, attachment is the root of all suffering. Such a good saying. All right, Tuesday, August 22nd, we have two aspects in play. And both of these aspects are going to make you on Tuesday just want to play. It is not a time where you want to go deep into anything, where you want to keep your agenda, you want to work hard. This is not that kind of energy. So on Tuesday, we have Venus square to Jupiter. Now, Venus square to Jupiter can have us excited to socialize, to connect with people. We want to have fun. We want to imbibe. We want to drink, eat, enjoy the finer things in life. Also spend a lot of money. Remember, Venus is retrograde. So as much as you want to go shopping and blow the credit card, today is not the day, right? And really, it's not a good time to do that at all, because if you're managing your finances or you self-soothe with shopping, then there's something there to heal, right? The shopping is only going to be a momentary hit of serotonin, dopamine, one of those things, where you're going to feel good, and then it's a time to kind of try to do it again and do it again, and that's why you run into financial problems. So this is not a day to go hard. This is a day to enjoy the day. Now, it is a Tuesday, so many of you might likely have to work, and it's a great day to go for brunch or go for dinner and just enjoy the moment and be in that social environment. Today, as I mentioned, you're not going to be working hard, but it's a great day to have fun and follow your heart. This is a wonderful day to help your people around you, really, or even yourself, connect with your own inner child and play. This is a wonderful energy for playing. Generally, people will be feeling light and free, and this energy makes you feel happy and potentially going overboard with optimism and wanting to connect to the point of people pleasing or overdoing it. So just being aware of that, okay? Now, also on this day, we have Mars opposite Neptune. When we have an opposition, we have a kind of not a tug of war, a teeter-totter. We're trying to find the balancing act between these two. So Mars is our passion, our vitality, the way we move through the world. And right now, Mars is in Virgo. Virgo wants to get things done, is practical, serving. It wants to do things that are going to impact life in the world and be healthy and do good things. And it likes to do things in a way that's methodical, logical, practical, grounded, right? It's an earth sign. And the opposition here to Neptune is one love, peace, compassion, empathy. Let's just be in the energy of each other, man. It's that kind of that very spiritual energy. So these two planets aren't really working together on that. Pisces invites us to be more in the flow of our intuition, and Virgo invites us to put those intuitive hits into detailed action, grounded, practical, logical, forward momentum in your life. They don't just sit in the air as this lovely idea bubble that sits there. We need to actually put it into momentum. So the two need to be together. It's important. They're opposites from each other, right? And so Virgos need Pisces and Pisces need Virgo. And if you're too much one way, then you're too much in the perfectionist tendency and over analysis paralysis and doing, or in the too much in the being and too much in the etherical and not living in the here and now and just wanting to peace and love, man. So it's this dichotomy. So what this means for you today is that you're not going to want to do a lot. This energy diffuses your energy. It diffuses your motivation. You're not excited to get things done. If it doesn't speak to your heart, but you might have a big list to do on this day. You might have a lot of things that you are responsible for on this day, and nothing is working. And you just want to have some drinks on a patio and enjoy the summer. And you might just need to. You might just need to, because the energy of this day is sort of saying, right? You can just say to your boss, my astrologer said today is not a day of hard work. Don't give them my name. But yes, this is the time to really follow that or do things that really speak to your heart. And following that intuition and putting into right action can help you get some of the things done today, but it's not going to be a day of heavy work. So today people will have less energy and endurance. People can be triggered more easily today and feel less adequate and more sensitive. Today is not a day for competition or pushing people too hard. People will need support and may feel disappointment or like they are disappointment. This can also be a shame kind of a shame spiral energy as well. So if someone or you yourself is going through grief or remorse over something you've done in your life, this day can sort of bring that up, or loved ones, Venus squared Jupiter, can bring that up in your face and kind of throw it back at you. This is a day of healing. So if that happens, then deal with your shame and guilt. Shame and guilt are actually really toxic. They prevent you from moving forward in your healing. All right. Wednesday, August 23rd, we have the sun moving into Virgo. It is Virgo season at 3 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And Virgo season helps us to get back into the swing of things for September. So this is now getting back into your routines, getting healthy, cooking again at home, having routines where you're going to bed early, waking up early, or you're maybe reading more, doing things that are practical, grounded, logical, and discerning with your resources. And that is a Virgo word. So this is a time now where we really love to be in service and do things for others, and Virgo energy is really service oriented. So we love helping people. So for those of you who are hyper individualistic, hyper, what's the word, self-reliant, it then takes that away from someone else to be helpful to you, right? So it's really interesting. We almost stop the flow of abundance coming in when we are so much one way. I need to help you. And someone's like, no, let me help you. And you're like, no, I don't receive help. I only help people. You're like, that's the universe going, wait. There's people that want to help you because that's part of their service. That's part of their soul need to do. So if that is something that you are experiencing, it's going to be heightened right now during Virgo season. And I joke because it's a hard aspect for me as a Virgo, is we're going to have a Mercury retrograde. Literally choked a little bit. So Mercury is going retrograde on the same day as the sun entering Virgo. That is potent, y'all. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury also rules Gemini. It means it's the planet of analyzing, it's the mind, it's communication, thought processing, connecting to each other, our communities, our siblings. It's people in our direct vicinity, and it's the way the mind computes things. So it's a very potent planet. And when it goes retrograde, so it means that it goes slower than the Earth, because planets speed up and slow down in their trajectory around the sun. So when Mercury is going slower than the Earth, relative to the Earth, it's going backwards mathematically, right? It's going in negative velocity compared to the Earth. I'm already feeling this Mercury retrograde, and I'm only taping this a week in advance. It is a time where it slows things down. And so our thought processing slows down, our communication slows down. It's meant to slow down our momentum so that we can go back and cross the T's and dot the I's, right? We're always so busy being productive and moving forward in life that we tend to gloss over some of the details. So Mercury retrograde is a time of slowdown. It's a little timeout from the universe, right? We're so busy in our momentum and our work and the ways that we kind of do things that we're so busy forward momentum that we don't actually take the time to slow down. So the universe gives us a timeout. That's what this is. Now, in this timeout, it is a time when we're not going to be able to go fast anywhere, right? So delays. If you're traveling, have documents with you, like actual hard copy documents, because technology, communication, internet can get really wonky during this time. And you just even notice like your devices will just drain, their batteries will just drain really fast. I was at the airport one time traveling during a Mercury retrograde. I was like, no, I'm going to throw chance to the wind. But luckily someone had printed my itinerary for me, and I went to the airport and my phone was dead. Fully charged in the car, dead upon going to the gate, which is like, all right, thanks. Thanks for showing me this is real. So I now, anytime I travel, especially during a Mercury retrograde, I print out my itinerary, my confirmations, and I have them with me, because technology is sometimes can be really finicky, especially at this time. Now, so if you're planning on traveling, it is a time of delays and patience is going to be required. Take an extra book, make sure you have alternate plans and just kind of have backup plans. That's a very Virgo thing to say if you need it. Or you can just trust yourself that in any moment, whatever presents, you'll be able to take care of it. Trust in yourself, right? Also Virgo, Mercury in Virgo retrograde, it's a time to really be careful with your communication and details. I've already been noticing that I'll write an email, I'll look it over, or I write a post, I put it in, and when I go back to look, there's all sorts of errors. And I'm just like, I proofread this 3 times, or it goes to post and I notice something is wrong. I was like, I looked at this like 6 times. So it's one of those things where it's almost like you don't notice the errors and then you go back and you're like, oh, and I feel like this is really teaching us to heal perfectionism because it's not going to be perfect, right? Mercury retrograde is going to show you all the ways that you're not perfect, especially in Virgo, right? And Virgos of a perfectionism can be when the pendulum, it's turned up too loud or the pendulum swings too far one way. So this is a time now, this Mercury retrograde is to slow down, to really think about what you want to say and how you're saying it. If you're sending a text, if you're gossiping, and my stance on gossip, just making sure who you're sending it to, because you will likely send it to the person you're gossiping about. And again, that's Mercury coming in to go, girl, don't gossip, right? So there's that aspect of it. Communication will go right. If you're trying to hash out some deep things, it's going to take time, right? So just have patience and notice what Mercury is really making loud for you, because whatever it's making loud for you, you're going to heal, know, learn deeper, see in a different way when Mercury goes direct. And Mercury will be retrograde. I did write it down here until September 15th. Now, one of the things I love about astrology is we can use these cycles to really understand what life is trying to teach us. So if you are a journaler, introspective person, someone that looks back on, I use my calendar as my journal. So looking back now, whatever you were working on between August 4th and the 23rd, you are now going to see with new eyes between now, which is August 23rd and September 15th. So from September 15th to now, you're going to revise, review, realign with what you've been kind of dealing with. And then from the 15th onward, you'll be in shadow for a couple weeks. There are going to be new things that you'll now want to do or action based on what you have learned in this time. So that is the beauty of retrogrades. Now, the one caveat to this is if you are born with Mercury retrograde, this is a homecoming for you. This is the way you operate. You're naturally introspective. You're naturally someone that takes time before you say things. You're quite caring and considerate with how you say it and how it's going to be received. And you're generally a slower processor because you really internalize and grasp the information. So it's no better or worse. It just is. So this is the way you operate. And now during a Mercury retrograde, you're like, yes, everybody is doing things and understanding and cognition skills are kind of at my level, right? There's no levels in terms of higher, lower, better, or worse. It's just a different skill set, right? So I have a slower Mercury and my husband has a really fast Mercury. So when we read through something, he can be done something super fast. He's like, yeah, I read it. And I'm like, oh, what did you think about this? When I read it, I internalize it. When I read it, I think of things as it kind of pertains to me and what would I do with that? Or that's really interesting. So I'm taking moments in between my reading to really grasp it versus my husband just reads it. So when I said, what did you think about this? He's like, oh, well, I don't really think about it. So they're not better or worse. They're just different, right? For me, I really internalize that information. My husband, he's done it. He knows what it said. Did he really internalize it? Not really. Does he care? Probably not, right? So Mercury retrograde, technology and communication is going to be a little wonky. Pack extra patience and flow with changes as they present. Mercury is at home in Virgo, and when it goes retrograde in Virgo, this is going to be a big shift in our forward momentum. This gives us the permission to slow down, to reassess, to revise and realign with life's direction. whatever you're working on is going to go through a massive revision over the next 4 weeks as you see things through new eyes. Okay. Now, Thursday, August 24th, we have Mars trine Pluto retrograde. Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn right now. Pluto spends most of his time retrograde, goes very slow. And Pluto and Mars together, trine is like they work really well together, is this like, I have a lot of energy to get up and go, to do things, to get things completed. This is an energy that's going to help people to re-examine their goals and why they want what they want. People will feel very ambitious and driven now. And this is an energy that can really support you in moving through your goals, moving through your checklist, understanding your challenges perhaps, and giving you more insight with that Mercury retrograde as to where to now use your energy, you know, what needs you the most at this point in time. All right, Sunday, August 27th, Mars moves into Libra. Now, Mars is considered a personal planet. It is our motivation, our desire, and our will to move forward. And when Mars is in Libra, it's a time when peace and love, man. It's trying to find a balancing act, right? Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is now retrograde. But Mars energy is trying to get us to find amicable solutions. It wants to find harmony in the balancing act. Now, Libra is an air sign. It's so smart. Libras are very solution oriented. They are, you know, if you ever listen to a Libra hashing out a problem, it's really quite entertaining because they will just kind of talk it out and you just have to listen. You don't have to say anything, or you can just acknowledge that, oh, yeah, that makes sense, right? It's like, well, you know, he was a jerk. I can't believe he did that to me. But, you know, it's probably because of his childhood trauma. And I have to be more kind and sensitive to what he's been going through. But really, you know, I'm not here to fix everybody. Like, it's almost like you're seeing the teeter-totter going back and forth with the, you know, the devil and the angel, if you will, but it's not. It's kind of this, they are consoling themselves. And the downfall here with Libra energy, there's two things. So the best of Libra is they're very smart. They're very amicable. They're beautiful people. Some of my most favorite people are Libras. And they really find this way to try to make everybody happy. And they're very considerate. On the flip side of things, it can lead to no resolution because they see both sides of it. And it's almost like both sides are even, right? Think of the teeter-totter as completely balanced, and there's no right or wrong way to be because they can see positive points for either side. So this can be very indecisive energy. The other side of it is Libras don't like conflict, right? They inherently don't like conflict, and they don't like telling people what's what and reinforcing a boundary. And with this dichotomy with Mars and Neptune as well, that can also be lack of boundaries, where we don't know how to say no. We don't know how to put up that boundary and not feel bad about it. So just noticing that in yourself, if you have that propensity, Mars in Libra is going to really forward to you. And because Mercury is retrograde, Venus is retrograde, you're really going to see that if that's hindering you and sapping you of energy and resources that you could be putting towards your soul's purpose, doing things you really love, making more joy happen in your life. You're going to want to change that at some point, because what happens with Libra, if they're pushed far enough, they will say F all of this, and then the scales will right. Because what will happen is they keep giving from their side of the scale until it is so uneven that they get upset. They throw everything up in the air and say, screw all ya. And then they reset. And then they go, oh, I don't know what came over me. And then it comes back to a new place. And then they have that opportunity to do that again or say, no, thank you. Right. I always say with this energy, one of the things that I use, because I have a hard time saying no, or I did anyways, is that I will say, let me get back to you. And then I will delay a no. I'll delay a no because it makes me feel like I have more courage to say no as I kind of build that courage. I can. But if something is definitely not aligned, I'll say no right away. And then also on this Sunday, August 27th, we have the Sun opposite Saturn. This is a big, big aspect. And it's already kind of been in play for the last 3 days, and it'll be in play for the rest of the week as well. And Saturn is retrograde in Pisces. So to understand what this is trying to tell us or show us, Saturn in Pisces retrograde is really helping us to make our dreams come to life. It's helping us to see our dreams for reality. Saturn is about responsibility, duty, structure, self-mastery, getting things accomplished in the right and perfect way that you are the structure of society, right? And Pisces is about passion, love, spirituality, our connection to the divine, our spirit. And so when we have these two things together, it's kind of a weird mix because it's like, how do you structure spirituality, right? But it is asking you to bring your dreams into manifested reality. And where are you delusional? Where are you hiding from yourself? Now, the sun in Virgo, opposite this Saturn retrograde, is going to be bringing up some harsh realities, some truths, and not harsh realities because they're only harsh if you're like holding on to something. So let's say you're in a relationship where it's crumbling and you're holding on to it because you're committed to commitment, then this aspect is going to show you that it's no longer aligned for you. Saturn cuts away dead weight. He doesn't have time for frivolity. He's here to help you be responsible. You don't have forever. He's Father Time. He's making sure that you're going to get things accomplished in this lifetime because you only have this lifetime for this soul life, for these life lessons, right? So it's time to shed and temper and rebalance elements in your life that present limitations to making your dreams a reality. We will feel this energy in frustration and perhaps struggle to overcome hard circumstances of the past, right? So Pisces is about transcending the past and learning from it. Transcending means you integrate it, you understand it for the lesson it showed you, you're releasing what no longer aligns, and you're moving up. You're moving up in your soul's evolution. There can be grief around loss at this time as well. So loss can be many things: loss of a relationship, a job, a way of life, an aspect of life that's not turning out the way you hoped. And you will definitely need support around at this time through things that are kind of really showing you what's what, who they truly are. So this aspect kind of removes guises, removes illusions, and might be showing you some harsh truths that are in your life, but always for your highest and best, always for your evolutionary purpose. So just noticing that, right? I always sort of say the universe is removing people out of your life for your protection and making space for better and more aligned people to come in, right? So in order for us to evolve, in order to move into the next phase of your life, in order to grow, you have to be willing to release. You can't bring all your stuff with you into the next phase. And nor do you want to, right? You sort of realize, okay, that served me when it needed to and why it was there, and now I'm ready to release it. So this is a potent week, let me tell you. It is going to be, it's leading to the super full moon in Pisces next week. So we are feeling this buildup of energy that's coming for that. And again, it's kind of this Virgo Pisces, energy that's coming in, because that's what that full moon in Pisces is bringing in, is that dichotomy between Virgo, detailed doing, productivity, and Pisces, being, emotions, spirituality, intuition. So we need to be putting into action from our intuition, not from our ego. Haha. So easy, right? So how that presents for you, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for me. I know Mercury retrograde is going to be a lot because it's in Virgo, it rules Virgo. So it's really going to slow down a lot of things. And just noticing when something is frustrating and communication isn't going through, I always sort of say, this is the perfect time to manifest. This is the time now to set the intention. What is the outcome you desire? Eyes on the prize. And everything you do is getting you closer to that eyes on the prize, right? The goal, the intention that you set. Where do you want to go? And then you're taking the next right action. You're embodying the emotion that you're going to feel on the other side of it. And you've already set your intention, and then you're healing what's in the way, right? If there's something coming up and you're getting triggered, you're like, wait, I know I'm going to get to that outcome. Always retargeting back to the outcome you desire and continuing to hold the energy of that outcome. Don't get distracted. Okay? Mercury retrograde can distract you. All right, wishing you the best week ahead. It's a big one. I'm here with you the whole way. I'm sharing on my Instagram stories a lot about how this is affecting me and what's happening for me. And I'm always inviting you to share with what's happening for you as well. so you know that you are not alone and there are resources available to you. So if you would like a white light meditation that I use with my Intuition 101 participants and students to help get grounded, to bring in the light, to bring up that white light protection bubble so that you're walking through the world kind of feeling more aligned, more grounded, you can get that freebie in the link through my bio, or if you just DM me, that's also on my website as well. I can send you the link for that and you can get that free meditation. So wishing you the best week ahead. Thank you for being here.